Howdy everybody, here for another garden walk, another monthly update. I'm not going to show every plant this time because it's fall, things are slowing down and there's just not as much to see, but there's one of the yucca that I stole from trash a month or two back. It's already sending out little baby pups all over. So even if the central original plant never really recovers or looks good, I can cut it out and all of its babies will take its place. So that's good. There's a purple passion asparagus right there. Looking very nice. All around a plum tree. I believe that one's a Mount Royal in particular. Walking in here, there's just a huge mess of raspberry. Completely forgotten the name of this one, but I got it from Brambleberry Permaculture. Right there, it's a small one. Normally these produce way bigger berries, but it's not being managed much, is it? I can't blame the plant for that. That one's a little underripe. How about in here? Oh, there's a ton of berries right here. Look at that. Oh, that's the problem. I'm all zoomed in. Sorry about that, y'all. Look at all those berries. Yep. So, raspberries do great here. It's one of the big things, is focus on what does great here. Right next to it is a apple, and then an asparagus that has outgrown the apple. Yep. Lots and lots of raspberries. Walking along this way, we have that gourd, that huge purple martinhouse gourd. I think it's a bit big for purple martins anymore. That thing is huge. I just can't believe it. Years of me trying to grow gourds and never being able to, and now I've got monsters. Right there's a more medium-sized one. I really hope it matures and hardens, because that would make an absolutely awesome water bottle, wouldn't it? Comfrey behind that. There's some blueberries in the middle between it all. Some, what's the word? Bee balm or monarda. So many things in and around here looking so good. Can't see it past all the squash, but I've got yellow passion flower in the back of all that. Here we get into some of the weedier parts of my orchard. But I planted another mulberry here. It's not looking very good. Its leaves all just kind of burned up. But hopefully it recovers and comes back next year. I really, really want an Illinois everbearing mulberry. Right over here we've got beans just going crazy in the nice hot weather. Got some asparagus in here. This is my purple passion apple, or purple passion crab. I got it because I heard that crabs are a great pollinator, but then I heard that that's actually a sterile variety, so it's not a great pollinator, but it'll still be pretty cool to be able to make red apple cider and things like that. Here I am behind the tree that gourd was in. There's a squash there that didn't really mature, so I left it out here to rot for feeding the animals. And all around it is sweet woodruff. I planted a lot of sweet woodruff. Not all of it made it, but that spot certainly did. There's a little bee balm over there that I grew from a cutting. Turn back this way, some more beans. Lots more raspberries. I was really hoping to have this variety actually fruit this year, but all the old wood pretty much got eaten over winter. A deer came by and chewed it all up, so this year I doubt they'll be able to eat it all, and I'll get raspberries the upcoming year. But all that's doing real well. Walk back this way. Those beans are incredible. I've never seen this variety perform quite like that. Those are some variety of Blue Lake bush bean. I don't remember the exact numbers, but yep. Coming right up over here. Soshan, cut leaf coneflower. It's a little bit raggedy. this time of year, getting ready to go to sleep. There's a pear mint. Right next to this is an Asian pear. They're if you haven't had one before, Asian pears are kind of like an apple and a pear all at once. They're harder and crunchy and crisper, in my opinion. That's the best time to have them, but I like crispy fruit. I like my peaches a little hard. I'm a weirdo. So maybe they are supposed to be riper, but perfectly round like an apple and really crisp and crunchy most of the time when I've had them. Very good, but more pear-like in flavor. There's my Yukon. It's starting to look pretty wimpy. Don't know if it needs more water or if it's just not liking this stretched out heat. I was gonna go through this way, but actually there's a very, very thick spider web. So we're gonna go ahead and avoid it and leave it be, let it live its life. Here's just a intentional weedy mess. I seeded red clover here as a nitrogen fixer to be nearby the mulberry tree, and some amaranth. This one took on a very weird shape, but it grew nicely. And then just cowpeas, rabbit beans running around, comfrey, just all sorts of good stuff. Asparagus, cut leaf coneflower. This is actually, some of you may remember, I talked about this before, but this spot is one of our cats named Coward is buried here. So I put flowers to remember him by, and they're doing great. So, you know, little things to remember those you care about by. He was very old, by the way. He didn't die in some unreasonable way. He lived out a good life here. Alright, here is one of my absolute favorite apples that I'm growing. I've never tried the apple variety itself, but I'm super excited to have the apple. These bronze colored leaves, they get some green, but they're mostly very bronzy, reddish bronzy. But they, this is a, what's the word, Valentine's Day gift from my wife, and that's Odisso Red Love apple. So it's going to be a red fleshed apple. A little bit more potatoes over here, have really bounced back since the day came that I harvested the others, but I left that one there because it was more lively. Got some purple bee balm, comfrey, got some ground cherries. I don't know if they'll grow in time, but they're that little bitty circle. And then nasturtium, that variety of nasturtium specifically, not nasturtium, geranium. That variety is called Old Spice. It's supposed to smell like Old Spice cologne. It's doing better than the other varieties of geranium I've planted. Sweet potatoes, doing okay in the heat. Same with the tomatoes. They clearly have had a lot of damage from tomato worms, but I've picked off all of them that I could find. And did a few videos on natural control of them. That's a bamboo post to stick the tree up when it was young. I could probably remove it now, but all that stuff stuck in the top is probably from some kind of carpenter bee or mason bee laying eggs inside and then capping the top off. So that's pretty cool. But lots of tomatoes. Here's one of my peaches I got from Rural King. Not the tree in the background, but this tree here. Growing quite well despite essentially no care. I really need to start paying better attention to this. I know that this is apparently a bug that crawls inside the tips of the growing branches and grows inside. I need to prune that off constantly and get it under control. But otherwise, I hear it'll bore into the fruit. Here we have a bush cherry. Back there is another apple. That one's an Arkansas black apple. Amaranth is starting to finally dry out a bit. I may be able to harvest it soon. I'm told that when they're ready to harvest, you can just sort of turn them over in your hand and massage them. I'm not seeing any seeds on my hand. So until I see seeds, I can't harvest them. And I'll probably leave one out here all winter just to self-seed. But yellow russet. Here we've got strawberry runners, more cut leaf coneflower popped up all over, along with more strawberries. My other peach, Cutleaf coneflower just looking beautiful, beautiful, beautiful in fall. As we walk over this way, here's my two interspecific hybrid trees, my pluot and my pluary. Big comfrey next to them. And if I can pull the weeds back and pull the weeds down, perfect time to show off how pretty the eastern prickly pears can get. Not just when they flower, but in general. Look at those red fruits. Try and pull a weed so that I can give a better view. But yeah, those red fruits are quite ornamental, and they'll hang on into winter. They're native, so completely happy to have them here. Doesn't bother me at all to take the extra care to let them grow. So that's most of the gardens, at the very least most of the fruit tree orchard. So I think I did that in pretty good time. I think I'll include the walnut orchard in this video this time. Here we've got a spot that the strawberries clearly love. They get the right amount of sun and the right amount of shade because they have taken over the floor. Another cutleaf coneflower in here doing beautifully. Apple trees all around me. And in the middle of all the apple trees we've got a witch hazel, great medicinal plant. Might try to propagate more of it at some point. Tomatoes all over the floor. Fig tree. Rhubarb. Honeyberry. Huge happy comfrey taking over its area. Over here we've just got some hollyhock and strawberries and things like that. So lots of good stuff growing in here. Lots and lots. Start walking back out this way, more comfrey on this apple. Turn around, more comfrey here. Here's a much smaller peach that I got from One Green World. We've got the double jewel. Sunchokes, of course, absolutely everywhere. Here's a blueberry I'm going to plant soon. It's just sitting in the shallow waters. But my little pond, still got lily pads, still got a lot of Katniss growing. Now we're going to just kind of power walk. I'll probably have a fairly shaky camera, so I apologize, but just doing my best to get us quickly to the next area. So if you want to look away, I'll tell you when we get there, but we're pretty much there now. The trellis, and even way out on this weed that I let grow, there's Hopness way out here. There's Hopness way up the trellis. There's Hopness climbing up this tree, which is a, what's the word? It's cold hardy almond. Self-fertile, they told me, so if it is, we'll have some almonds in the future. I'm not crazy about almonds, but I wouldn't mind a couple. Hopness is just going so crazy. Here we have Hopness is holding up the hollyhock, which has more dried seed pods ready for me to collect and spread the seeds. The last flower is fading, but that's probably it for it this year. Sunchokes, again, have made their way in here. Hopness growing all in the middle. What I will probably do is chop all the weeds down this fall and add a heavy layer of mulch. Everything except the strawberries should be able to push through the heavier mulch. Here we still have our American plums, wild American plums. Here we have an improved shagbark hickory. Found out not too long ago that it's a cross with a cold hardy pecan. I sure hope it still has the bark feature of the crackly bark. I actually bought it more as an ecological plant than to be harvesting. Right in here we have bee balm, and we have a bean that is providing shelter to a currant that's struggling in the sun. It's kind of cooked, so it's getting protection from that bean. And then cold hardy pecans on this side are doing really well. Another one right up here. Yep, looking great. Here we have a improved pawpaw. I don't remember what variety this one was, but it's from One Green World, and it's been growing quite well. And I believe at its base is a variety of bee balm and some beans for nitrogen fixing. Got all of our Japanese walnuts have grown very tall, very happy. There's my black-eyed Susan getting sleepy for winter. Huge sunchoke going crazy right here. And asparagus doing its thing with the squash coming through. We've got our thornless honey locust growing here and growing great with hopness climbing it. Our gourds growing well. We've got some decent sized gourds around. This sunflower has flipped upside down to be an umbrella so its seeds can dry. I'll keep an eye on that, hopefully get some seeds out of it. I don't know what variety it was, but free sunflower. And then the gourd has just grown and grown and grown, but it's starting to yellow. Hopefully that's just a natural thing. But that gourd next to my foot, huge, absolutely huge. So there's all that. All right, got through everything pretty quick. My persimmon kind of completely stagnated as soon as it got over the top of that tube. So I'm hoping that it survives and does well next year. Hopefully it just kind of got up here and took a rest, because it never did all too well after it reached the top. Well, that's pretty much everything. There's a daylily there. I hope to see you all in the next video. Hopefully this taught you guys something. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. It's a big Japanese walnut and my other thornless honey locust. Beautiful thornless honey locust. Alright, I'll see you all in the next video as soon as I can. And hopefully I have something else new to show you, new to teach you. Goodbye, everybody.